just brought a bunch of things together that he cares deeply about, including education, including young people. He's teaching his grandchildren to be transportation experts. And we think they've already exceeded some of us. So great job. I've been in transportation, public transportation, more than, well, for a very long time. And you know, you learn about it because, I learned about it because it mattered to my life, and then I became fascinated by it, and I've lived it for these many years. But it continues to matter because it affects people's lives. That's why you continue to do it. You've chosen something here that's so important to many people's lives. My own younger sister started using paratransit in Boston years after she could, and it changed her life. But I witnessed all the problems that you indicated occurred here. About a year ago, my husband and I and some other relatives were running to a parking lot, waving our arms at an operator to get him to stop, because he didn't park in the right place, and he was leaving without my sister. So the problems are there. The service is great, the need is great, but the problems are there, and this is just a terrific solution. And I'm so impressed, not only by the technology that you have a grasp of, but you've taken a problem, found a solution, and created the structure to make it happen. You know, the C5103, did I get that right?
Yes.
C3105, whatever it is, I think I made one once. But anyway, just putting the whole structure behind it. Great ideas are great, but taking an idea to actual application is even greater. So thank you very much for including all of us. And I don't know if folks have questions or comments, but I hope you'll entertain anything that people want to ask you about.
So I have a ton of questions. Can you choose from historical destinations, places you have gone to before and want to go again?
Yes.
So could you request repeat trips on something like this?
That's why we have the history log, so if you're in that same spot, you can click that to reserve a ride again instead of retyping in that information.
And so you can look for like multiple days of the same request.
Yes.
And I saw you had the GPS and you have these reminders that are scheduled. Can you also let somebody know when, based on the automatic vehicle location, your vehicle's 5 minutes away?
Yes. Like as it's tracking, because of the GPS trackers in the buses, it'll tell you like your app will keep updating, refreshing the time of the distance that you have to wait.
That's great, because one of the things we've looked at for some of the transit properties is getting an automatic call system, so it actually calls them when the bus is 5 or 10 minutes from their door, so they know they can get down to where they need to be.
We also talked with one of our partners about this, but when they did use that, the bus would have to go in a circle to pick up one person, and they would say, well, you're this many distance or minutes from the person would have to stand outside. And that was one of the problems, but because the app keeps refreshing, that will get
you get a push notification, or you'll get a text saying your bus is outside, so you don't have to wait outside.
That's true. Let's see. I just had an idea with our CTGO thing and the mobile payment, and I was thinking, can we have something in here that links to a CTGO card account so that you can have your fare payment taken care of. You don't have to handle cash, you don't have to have tickets, those kind of things. But I mean, that's a little further down the road. We're moving towards a smart card system, and it would have a mobile payment app included with it. And so you would have a link to, So
that was
we're the same way.
Development. Because we did a lot of research on that too, and that's why when it had the listings of your rides, it had multiple, because some people buy the 10 ride booklet to pay for that so they can pay in advance instead of having to do it every time they need a ride. That's why we had the multiple listings for ride and reservations.
And our further developments were, one was creating actually an account. When you create, you are creating an account, but when you created your account, you would be able to credit card or your mailing address, and you would be able to just.
Yeah, but we're doing that at the same time. We're doing that statewide for the whole CT transit system. And then, is there also an option where you can actually comment on the quality of your ride, the interaction with your driver? Excellent. Okay.
At the end, just more page that'll give you, there's a survey that you can answer, fill out based on the app and the services, or you can leave a comment. So for example, if you get a good customer service, or if you do need to call the phone, you can say, hey, this person did not answer. when we thought about a blog. More questions?
Does your system anticipates the negotiation of the trip when the time that you request the trip is not available? Or how does that work?
So when you set your ride, it sends through the service and then it comes back around. So for example, if you're here and you need a ride and you requested it, it'll go through their service, like if you're using Trapeze, and it'll go to the
So access trapeze, so.
yeah. So it'll go through, a customer service rep will confirm it or deny it, letting you know whether it's available or not, and it'll come back as a notification, text message, or email.
Why don't you pass those around? You can actually see, we have a prototype. I would like to share.
Mobile transportation for
Disabilities.
You want to be back all the way to the beginning?
Go ahead. You're in the middle.
Oh, I see, it's pre-programmed.
Where you can take the screen.
And you get to your choose your destination.
So she gives no way that she's getting the transit.
So I can't type in a destination.
They're still working on it. They've been trial and error for
Basically been taking back feedback that we've been getting and trying to incorporate it into the app as much as we can. We want to get each
So
element.
with these two features,
Yeah.
we were just now starting with to choose your destination and choose your location. So there may be a couple just actually take it.
like when you choose like the regions like Haven, counties, and then it would do like the districts. Maybe it's going here or it's far back or it's achieving. And from there you just select that the type of station.
Oh, sure, thank you. Maybe start somewhere.
So this is like,
So then Greater Haven has a certain area. And that's why they call it
A repeat business, so we could actually program that.
I'm very proud of them. I'm very proud. I've watched them come a long way.
I like it on a tablet
Yeah.
too, 'cause you can see.
Advisor and cinematographer. It's like the best. Best of both worlds. Yeah.
So you select like when you save yourself. Don't have it.
apply following.
I think I went too far out. I went out the app.
So this app isn't running in real time, is it?
Should we pass it on as well? I mean, because it's not, it doesn't, if you'd like. Niall. Can you tell us when to go back to the home screen?
You guys, very similar.
Not really that loud, more of a soft person. So this is our app. This is version 4 of our app after we received a lot of feedback from people like you. And so this is our latest version. We're using Adobe XD, a brand new software that came out maybe a month ago. And it helped us change our app a lot. I don't have the original, but the original is like maybe garbage compared to this. This is pretty nice, if you ask me. So right here we have our data, a login page. Like we're gonna have our database with partnership with UConn and all that. So you could go to your settings right there. You go to your settings and click on like SMS tab, alerts and email alerts, and you could activate those. And you always have to click save, so we know those are saved in. Like click save. And so press enter. So you can also log in with Facebook, Google, and Twitter and all that. So right here we have our home page, set appointment, and you can edit your current appointments, and you can view your account. So we're going to click on view account first. And you can see your ride history. And if something doesn't look right, maybe you were overcharged or you feel like it was not worth it, you can just click call an operator, and it'll go straight to Greater New, like whatever service you use, for instance, Greater New England Transit. And you could go back and at the end. And then we're going to go to edit current appointments. So right now, I'm going to go to, I'm going to go to like 22 Sherman Avenue, but I'm not going to have a return. But I want to cancel that because maybe something came up. So I'm going to click cancel ride. Oh, it's on program ride. So I'm going to call operator instead. Sorry about that, I didn't program that. Go back all the way back. And so right now, let's just set an appointment. Just walk you through it. So since we're in New Haven, we have New Haven County and Hartford County. We're going to click on New Haven since we're going to go somewhere in New Haven. And right there, you have your choose your location, your destination, how long it's going to take. You can set your departure time, arrival time, and you can click here if you're not going to return. For instance, let's click on choose your location. We have right there 23 Lexington Garden, and you can choose which one. We're going to go to North Haven, first one. And boom, comes up, slides down to your destination. We're going to go no return since we're not going to go. And then there you have your route, your time appointed, where you're coming from, your service, your driver, and your arrival time. You can edit this. If you click edit, it goes right back to your GPS. And then right there, it goes right back here. And then you click next. And then you can confirm. And then you have your service right there. And then if you click on the bus again, like our logo, you go right back to where you were. And let's say you want to cancel appointment, I think, was that up there? Yeah, cancel appointment, edit current appointments, or is that not going to work again? Cancel appointment. Well, we had a cancel appointment. It gives us a 2-second warning about we're trying our best to like having no shows and like cancellations because it's a hassle on everyone. So we're trying to make the app like run the service convenient for everyone. And so go back to the home page. And so yeah, that's our app.
We also have a find you.
Oh yeah, find me if you go on set appointment again. New Haven. Click on choose your location. And you can do find my location. Like if you click it,
So I'll pick up that.
and it'll have it right there, and you see the white dot. That's where you are.
So for any reason you're not sure where you are, find me. This is great.
And for cancellation, we're gonna have you call an operator because being me, I'm like young, and then I have like siblings that use my phone. It could probably like cancel your ride. So that's not gonna be fun. So we're gonna have you call an operator to make sure that you're 100% sure to cancel that ride. And then it'll go right back to the menu again if you want to cancel that or call that. that's version 4. We're gonna tweak this on your feedback today to version 5. So yeah, that's it. Any
We've
feedback?
been through 4 softwares, so it's
So far. So far, we're gonna keep going. Apple Pie, MIT App Inventor, Adobe XD, and Flinto, a web-based one. This one is like the best one because it makes it look nice. So yeah.
So which one are you using for this?
Adobe XD.
it just came out.
It's also, the Adobe XD is actually in beta still, so they're still trying to add stuff that.
Make it a better experience for me to create this.
So I guess my question was, in your settings setup, when people set up their account, are you gonna give them the option, for instance, if you said it would automatically call New Haven, obviously you're gonna have to pre-populate that or something with the particular services so that it calls the.
Yeah, if you go back to set point, you can click on Hartford, it goes to Hartford's one.
Right, but when you're, you know how you said it would automatically call for you?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that you're gonna have that, they're gonna have to program that in their account settings.
Our programmers are gonna program that in.
Based on your GPS and which transits run in which in the area you're in, we could call.
Okay.
So I guess like New Haven does,
Yeah.
Milford and Orange.
There's a couple of challenges with that,
Right,
with
yeah, that
overlapping
is.
service areas and stuff.
But-
You might have 2 or 3 operators you can potentially call depending on where you're going, but
You could.
that's
right across.
a
counties.
twist that we don't have to worry about today.
But the raises a really good question, because we have so many service providers in overlapping districts. It would be interesting if you didn't really have to know as the end user who you needed to reach. It was simply, I want to go A to B, and then the logic of your app says, okay, that trip is provided by this provider or that provider.
I mean, I think there's a lot of future twists and turns, like suppose you wanted to go from New Haven to Hartford. You could do that, but there's not necessarily one operator that can take you. So it actually may be a multiple operator trip, or when we do our study, we may end up with a designated operator for longer distance trips that you'd call if you put a origin and destination that fall into that, longer trip operator. You might just call that person instead of New Haven, then New Britain, then Hartford, then whoever else. There's a lot of further development, but as you might be able to get 90% of the trips handled through this. The next 10% will take 10 times as long to do, but to get it to that perfection level,
So
we don't
how-
expect perfection the first day.
How do you restrict access to registered clients?
You just go to the homepage and like create an account and then go to the database, have a partnership.
I know, but you have to have that linked in somehow with the information that the transit operator has, because you have to be.
So once you get approved for service,
Yeah.
you were issued a code, and then that's your login and you create a password.
You put in
So
the
your
code
brothers and
first in
sisters
order
do
to
it.
access the password, then you push the password.
Again, you got the easy 90%. If somebody lives outside the service area and enters, if they enter a destination, they're eligible, they're in the database, they have a number, but they want to go someplace outside the service area, the app needs to be able to tell them that Greater New Haven can't do that trip because it's, say they wanted to go from New Haven to Springfield, Massachusetts or someplace. That's not an ADA trip that Greater New Haven does. So, again, the 90% may be covered by a lot of this.
It's
Once
within
you get
county,
beyond
it's
that,
kind of easier to,
yeah.
right, that's where we started with New Haven, it was just your community.
You
And
need
then
to manage
now-
the scope of it.
yes.
You need to limit the universe for now. I
That's
don't want to overcomplicate this right now.
When you
But
try
We
to-
talked about actually bringing in the trains, this is, I don't know, before you joined the group, we talked about the trains, the ferries, to try to get all, but then it was just too big to even consider at that point, so we just scaled way back to just a bus.
And this is a niche that isn't being filled by Google right now. You can do trip planning on Google Maps. If you go to Google Maps and do your destination, it'll tell you the transit options to get there. But I don't believe there's no power.
And that may be an interesting, if you had a paratransit button, you could also click for Google.
Ooh, I guess I'll have to Google.
Forget that, they're really hard, they're really hard to work with, but it may be something that, the types of algorithms they use, it might be possible to say, well, I can take the train to New Haven. Once I get to New Haven, how do I get to my destination by the ADA service? If somebody's coming out of New York, gets to New Haven, how do I plan my trip? Because you also can be eligible for ADA in New Haven if you're eligible anyplace else in the country. So you may not have a greater New Haven ID number. You may have a New York MTA ID number. Once you get to New Haven, you could be able to plan that trip. But again, that gets beyond the 90. That gets into the 10% where every trip is an exception to whatever the master program is you've set up.
And anybody else here have thoughts?
The one thing we hear over and over is they want to have that ability to cancel without calling. So maybe if you have a household without kids, you could toggle off the option to call.
Yeah, we're gonna change that after we leave today. We're gonna make a new system for cancellations. We're gonna use your feedback to make that.
And since you do have to enter in your password, I would hope that your siblings wouldn't have your password.
Yeah. So those are wonderful.
Mine is already technology, just beat each other up.
We have a website.
I was gonna say, and relative to the cancellation, you can get a conversation with the operators. Maybe it's a choice in your settings, which one you do, because there are some people who, you know, like my mother, I always wanna talk to someone, and then there are people who are like, I don't wanna talk to them, I just wanna push my button, and so you have to manage for both of those situations.
Most people, I go through the self-checkout counter at Stop and Shop. People don't want to talk to people. Today, in today's society,
Right,
people, we text, we email, there's no more
Tell
face to
you that,
face.
you don't believe me.
Kids today, that's all they do, their heads are down. They don't talk. And to get them to present today has been wonderful. I'm very proud of them. But we've lost that art of conversation, sadly. It's more texting, jargon, and the written word.
We do it all the time. It's just.
We text in class to
we
each other.
text,
Yeah.
Cause it's more, it's like faster, it's more
It's
This is
efficient.
the first time you see me and him in public talking.
We never knew each other before.
They don't talk.
I saw that Germany's putting traffic signals on the sidewalks now, so if you're texting with your head down, there's a red light when you get to the.
Is that real?
Yeah.
In the sidewalk.
I have a question about the password. So does this have an option for a verbal password rather than a type-in?
We talked about hearing and vision impaired,
Yeah.
so we could definitely do that, because we have text-to-speech, we could,
Cause most of the devices now of this generation has, oh, you can speak, you talk to the phone about it. Like, for instance, when you're texting, you type and you can say the text and it'll come out. So yeah, we can add the fingerprint. Yeah, we could do a fingerprint too.
that's the best.
Do you realize that that is a simulated sapphire, like a lab-grown sapphire? That's what that key is made out of? That fingerprint thing, yeah.
Of course you know.
We
That
talked,
explains the price of the phone.
we talked about pre-populating some of those destinations. What I would suggest is you look at the trapeze trip planner that we have on cttransit.com. That also applies to the New Haven division of CT Transit. And that may give you some of those pre-populated, you know, how you can sort through the pre-populated popular destinations. Because you may not know the address of Town Hall in Guilford, but if you put in the town halls and then found Guilford and clicked on it.
You probably already said this, but what was, I didn't hear it. What's, does the software automatically limit you to 3/4 of a mile within the fixed route? Because paratransit is a shadow service.
Trapeze.
Trapeze does that?
It
Yes.
should, yeah.
Right, but does the app go back to Trapeze, validate the trip?
Yes.
Yeah.
Has to.
Comes back,
Yeah.
right.
We have to talk to the agency software. And another concern we had was because the medical information, I don't know if you store medical information, it's confidential for HIPAA, so we have to be careful with that too.
Well, it probably shouldn't be in your app.
No, it wouldn't be, I don't
File
want
that.
to
Okay.
breach any privacy.
So you'll have privacy terms though, and terms and conditions.
We have to.
Yeah.
Any other feedback?
You guys like the colors?
Yeah, the colors was a hard one.
Yeah,
It's
get
kind of
no
CT
overall.
Transit blue.
Yeah, it's blue.
It's supposed to
Spent
be
3 hours.
Yeah, three and a half.
3.5 hours just choosing
Just trying
colors.
to pick the colors.
Just to make it look
Yeah, we
nice.
know about that.
Yeah, it was hard to find different colors, really. Something that would be appealing, but yet simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
something that matches Connecticut.
Obviously, keeping it less busy is better for visual impairments, so
Yeah.
the crisper you can make it, having blue lettering for the set appointments, it might be better if you had more contrast. There is a website actually that you could have the visual acuity of your app itself. You could look at it using what they have for, Jim, I had sent it to you, where you can determine the accessibility of the web page or the app itself in terms of visual.
So it kind of like simulates?
It gives you certain parameters to work within.
Okay. Can we get the name of that?
Yeah, I have to find it again.
And not only that, but like it's not here right now, but with further like programming, we'll have like a tutorial of how to use the app. So like it'll show you like where to press here and like what happens when you do this. It's a video.
A how-to video that we're gonna work on. You can first download that.
So we do have a website, that's where I was going before, MT4Dapp.com. This is the website that the kids have been using since November, October. It's currently, it's being updated every day. We have our big competition next Saturday at the Oakdale, if anyone's around, it's free to get in. It's kind of like a cross between a science fair and a trade show. There's schools from all over Connecticut presenting their ideas. We are going up against, I think, 10 other mobile apps. So that's where we are.
Would you like us to link with this?
Would you,
Even though
could you
you
tweet
might want
us?
to put a condition on it that, that's.
We would love to have you on our website, and we would love if you would tweet us, because we could enter the Director's Challenge and win like another fancy award. It's just the prestige, it's nothing.
Do you guys want to see the video we submitted to Samsung a while back? Go to video.
Oh, have you checked it
Go to
out?
videos.
I think I put it on your email at first. Yeah. It's 3 minutes.
Is there the speakers on? The speakers are not. Yeah, but the speakers are.
Currently, our paratransit services in Connecticut are not adequate to Susan Bloom recently stated that a significant number of people have disabilities so serious that they cannot walk. Currently, our paratransit services in Connecticut are not adequate to service our disabled citizens. It's time we develop a solution.
So it's always important to people who are waiting for vehicles to come and pick them up, whether it's to take them to school or to take them to a doctor's appointment or to a clinic or grocery shopping.
City buses can deny them a ride if need be.
Sometimes you have to wait like 1 or 2 months to get another appointment, so it could be, detrimental to my health.
I have a son-in-law who had scoliosis, and he was in a wheelchair, was not able to do very much on his own. We found it was very difficult.
Some of the complaints that we get is timeliness.
I can walk very limited, and when I take the wheelchair, I can't walk at all, so it's very slippery on the buses. The floor is nice, a little bit on the rubbery side, but between that and the shoes, you can go sliding, and it could be really detrimental if I fall.
Mobile Transit for Disabilities is a student-developed application that works in tandem with existing paratransit and ADA-compliant transportation services. This application facilitates people with disabilities to get from point A to point B safely. 64% of American adults now own a smartphone of some kind, so the development of this type of technology coincides with the increasing dependency on said technology. This app incorporates scheduled arrangements for transportation, listing preferences, tracking of transportation, and a digital ticket in your account. New Haven, Connecticut is the area of our initial research and is home to many disabled people. Physical limitations might prohibit people from boarding a crowded city bus that cannot accommodate a wheelchair or safely facilitate people with assistive devices and prosthetics. Persons with disabilities will now be able to arrange for public transportation without the fear or discomfort. This app will allow disabled patrons and supporters to plan paratransit and public transportation services.
Future developments include color-coded routes that go along with each paratransit and common carrier service with whom they are partnered with, visual and audio estimated time of arrival prompts, GPS functionality and real-time location data. and minute updates on accidents and delays affecting transit routes incorporating third-party traffic data.
Well, I think your concept is amazing. It's something that, we work hard every day to improve customer service for folks with disabilities that we transport, and we know how critical it is.
I think it's a great idea. Everybody uses computers, including myself.
Just remember, these kids are 16 years old. So it's pretty excited about it. So let's just put that into perspective.
I don't think we needed that qualifier.
That's great.
This has been a
Yes.
pleasure.
One last thing too, when you click on the New Haven, is maybe think about, we partner with Yellow Cab for rides and maybe throwing Uber in there, so it gives them more choices than just, if Uber paratransit ever picks up.
I wouldn't use Uber yet. Just because we have to regulate taxi and livery in the state, and since we don't, and they're kind of in this gray area, I wouldn't encourage linking to them, but if everybody knows about it and they do it on their own, then it's not my problem.
Gotcha.
And we got some excellent suggestions and tips and things we hadn't thought about. So we will definitely be working these into the app.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And promise to stay in touch and let us know how you're doing.
We'll do, and if anyone has any contacts out there, if you'd like to share contacts, I'd love to.
I was just suggesting something.
Oh,
I think we promised to follow up with contacts at Econ and who else? Where else?
T-Hub, and we're gonna contact UNH, the engineering department. We have a partnership with them.
So you already have a contact at T-Hub?
No, I have some people that I don't
Sure.
actively use, so I'd love to have the name of T-Hub.
Awesome, that was Anna, and I will follow up with Anna.